Hi everybody, in this video I'm gonna show you how I paint with coffee. Just a disclaimer, I'm still a beginner. I just want to share some techniques that I know, but I'm not saying that these are the right ones. This is just my humble opinion and my personal preference. So without further ado, let's get started. First, I begin by creating an outline drawing. Next, I tape down the four sides of the paper. This is to prevent the paper from warping when I start painting on it. I prefer to use scotch tape because I find it easier to peel off. I have tried using masking tape before, but it only damaged the paper. If the tape accidentally sticks on the wrong portion of the paper, just like what happened here, don't panic. Just carefully peel it off so it won't rip the paper. For our first layer, I made a mixture of black coffee and a lot of water. This is gonna be the highlight of the painting. Make sure to always swatch it on a piece of watercolor paper before applying it to the actual painting to check the value. I don't have a flat brush, so I'm gonna use this one instead because this is the only bigger brush that I have. I rinse the brush, and then I wet the whole paper with clean water. I lay down a very pale watery wash. Do this as quickly as possible. You may notice that the paper starts to buckle. This is because the paper that I used here is lower than 300 GSM. Wait for it to become completely dry before applying the next layer. You'll know when the paper is completely dry when the ridges and valleys are gone. When the paper is completely dry, I traced my drawing once again because some of the pencil has been washed out when I put the first layer. This happened because I used Mongol pencil number 2, so I suggest to use mechanical pencil instead. It's time to paint the second layer. I added a little more coffee to the mixture that I prepared a while ago to make it slightly darker. I painted on the areas that are supposed to be darker than the highlight. I am using a size 6 round brush here. For our third layer, I'm gonna repeat the same process. I added more coffee to the mixture to make it darker. Always swatch it before applying it to the actual painting. Coffee works like watercolor. You are gonna paint in multiple layers to build up the color. Let me tell you a story on how I got into coffee painting. Way back in 2018, I have this subject in college called art appreciation. One of the activities is to paint with coffee. I was really excited about it. I even watched tutorials on YouTube like Jeneline Sandaga's coffee painting tutorial so that I have knowledge on how to do it. And then the day came, I was so disappointed that our professor instructed us to copy a picture that he brought. I was expecting that he will let us paint whatever we want, to test our creativity. Well, I just reluctantly copied the picture. It was an abstract art, blue in color. Since our medium was coffee, the painting ended up looking like mud smudged all over the paper. I wasn't happy that time. I only painted 2 paintings that year. I just came back to coffee painting this March when Luzon was placed under enhanced community quarantine. It was only because of boredom, but apparently I enjoyed it. I have already painted 5 paintings in 2 months. What I love about coffee painting is that it won't cost you a lot of money. It's an easy medium to work with because you don't need to mix colors. You just judge the values. If you are going to find reference picture in the internet, choose pictures with high contrast. That means the highlights are very light and the shadows are very dark. The only thing that I struggle in painting with coffee is that the edges are harder to blend compared to watercolor. The coffee also tends to lift up when you apply water on top of it, even if it's completely dry. Anyway, let's go back to our coffee painting process. For the shadows, the mixture should be less and water. Always remember, the less water you add, the darker the color is. The consistency should be thick. Thick consistency is hard to blend though, so I suggest to choose a subject with hard edges. I decided to add some splatters. But before that, I cut out pieces of paper to cover some portions of the painting. I use another brush and I'm tapping on the other brush to create splatters. Carefully peel the tape off. This is the part that I find very satisfying. Take your time, don't rush because it might damage the paper. Just a reminder, do not put this painting between pages of a book because it will stick on the pages. Even if this painting has totally dried up, some parts of the painting, especially the shadows, remain semi-moist. To protect the painting, I will use this fixative spray that I bought from National Bookstore. It says spray 20 to 30 centimeters away from the pieces. I will not show you that part anymore because I prefer to do it outdoor, but you already have an idea. So that's all for this video. I hope that you learned from this tutorial. Until next time, bye!